Hi guys, it's Steffi from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel and welcome to the mid-year book freakout tag. I've done it now every year for I think at least 3 years, maybe 4, and I enjoy doing it every year because it is just a really fantastic way to sort of wrap up the first 6 months of a year and the reading that you've been doing and sort of get yourself focused and back on track for the second half of the year. The first question is the best book that you have read so far in 2019, and I happen to have 3 books in that. They're all sequels, which is going to seem a little bit weird given the next question, but it is books 3, 4 and 5 in the Lockwood & Co series by Jonathan Stroud. I adore these books so much, and they're honestly the books that have made me the happiest so far this year because not only did I finish a series, but I also enjoyed every second of reading it. It is a really, really great series. It is sort of older middle grade, younger YA, horror, paranormal, ghosts and hauntings, and it is just wonderful. I highly, highly recommend it. Question 2 is the best sequel that you have read. And really the 2 series that I'm talking about in questions 1 and question 2, they're almost interchangeable in a way. For best sequel, I picked books 4, 5, 6 and 7 in the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey, which I have been reading like crazy since last year, and I absolutely adored all of these books. These are the ones I've actually read in 2019. There is not a single book in here that I have not enjoyed. And even though sometimes it takes me a while to pick up the books, when I pick them up, I'm suddenly re-immersed in this world that I love so much. It is a science fiction space opera set in the future, and it has politics and space battles and all sorts of alien craziness. It is wonderful and I really, really recommend it. Question 3 is a new release you haven't read yet. I'm going with Exhalation by Ted Chiang. This is his second collection of short stories. I haven't read it yet and I don't know why. I adore his work and I'm very, very much looking forward to diving into this. His is very speculative fiction, sci-fi awesomeness, and I'm so excited. Question 4 is your most anticipated read for the second half of the year, and for that I have Dark Dawn by Jay Kristoff, which is the conclusion in the Nevernight trilogy, and also Graveyard Shift and Ghost Town by Michael Pryor, which is the second book in the Gap Year in Ghost Town, which is a delightfully fun young adult paranormal story set in Melbourne, and I cannot wait. For biggest disappointment, I have 2 books. The first one is Middle Game by Shauna Maguire, which I'm still on the fence about, and it really bothers me about that. So I think I'm going to have to pile that into disappointment because I was really expecting to enjoy that because I love her work, and the fact that I can't make up my mind on this tells me that it's probably something that did not live up to my expectations. The second book is Shauna's Great Expectations, because this one, I did read it for a blog tour and there's nothing wrong with the writing, but I think the messages in there are probably not as modern as I would like them to be, and I think that eventually that book is going to become possibly problematic for some people. Question 6 is the biggest surprise, and that was The Test by Sylvain Novelle, which is a little short story / novella that is very much like a Black Mirror episode. And I have to admit, I'm not the biggest fan of Black Mirror episodes, but this one I really liked. This story I really liked, and it is about a man taking a citizenship test in the UK, and it is really, really scary what goes on in the citizenship test, and it is well worth checking out if you like Black Mirror and if you like those sort of speculative fiction type things. Very well worth checking out. Question 7 is a favourite new author, and I'm going to go with Casey McQuiston, who wrote Red, White and Royal Blue, which I also really loved and was sort of possibly going to take out the best book I've read so far in the year, but I let it go to something that is very near to my heart. But Casey McQuiston is definitely an author that I'm going to be watching very closely because I absolutely love that book. She actually reminded me a little bit of Jen Bennett in terms of just the way that she presented a lot of the content and the conversations and the way that the characters react to one another. So I'm also going to put Jen Bennett on their new favourite author, because I will just read anything that she writes as well. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on Casey McQuiston. Question 8 is new fictional crush, and even though I don't tend to really do this, I don't tend to hang on to them, I will pick 2 people just because they're characters that I've thought a lot about. They're characters that I find quite interesting. First one is Judd Lauren from the Psy Changeling series. This is his book Caressed by Ice, but he tends to pop up now in a lot of other books, and I actually prefer him the further on through the series we get, because he becomes a little bit more open and a little bit more devious, as opposed to in here where he's quite uptight and very sort of unwilling to let go of some of his training. But he is a Psy, he's a very powerful telekinetic and telepath who, you know, was bound in silence. So he's not very good at talking about his emotions, but as the series goes on and as he talks to other Psys and he helps them on their own journey, it is hilarious and I love him to pieces. He is kind of adorable. The second person is James Holden, or Jim Holden, from the Expanse series, because he goes through huge character arcs and it's amazing. He's a wonderful, wonderful character. He really truly believes in doing the right thing, even if it doesn't work in his favor. And it's kind of adorable. By now the series, so this is book 4, but in book 7, he's much older, he's learnt a lot more, and you really begin to see how he's changed and grown, and he's just wonderful. Question 9 is newest favourite fictional character, and I'm going to go with Finian from Aurora Rising because he is a little sassy character who I just loved and adored. He is also a character who wears a full body brace because of an illness during his childhood, so he needs that to actually support him. He's the kind of character who basically pisses everyone off to deflect anyone's attention from the fact that he struggles day to day. He's wonderful. I cannot wait to read more from his perspective in future books, but every time Finian was in the story, I was laughing my head off. Question 10, a book that made you cry. I'm going to go with Song for a Whale by Lynn Kelly. I don't have it here with me, it's in my classroom at school. And this is the story of a deaf girl who finds out about a whale who sings on a different frequency to other whales and therefore can't communicate with them. And she goes on a journey to try and produce something that he can actually communicate with, a song for a whale. And it is beautiful and heartwarming. And it's really about how, you know, she struggles to communicate with other people, but also having to realize that other people are doing the best that they can sometimes. And it's a wonderful book. My kids really enjoyed it. It was just gorgeous. A book that made you happy. Got 2, they're from the same series. It is The Tea Dragon Festival and The Tea Dragon Society by Katie O'Neill. These are gorgeously illustrated, middle grade, young adult, graphic novels about tea dragons who are just the most adorable little creatures. They're full of diversity, full of great representation, full of magic and mystery and dragons, and you just can't help but fall in love with them. Question 12 is the most beautiful book that you have bought or received this year. 1 is The Tea Dragon Society because this is just gorgeous. But I also can't go past my copy of Finale, which was the Fairy Loot exclusive, which has the gorgeous rose gold cover, the sprayed edges, and the hidden cover underneath. It's a stunning book. Question 13 is what are the other books that you have to read in 2019? Basically anything that's on my bookshelf unread is the general answer to this question, but most importantly, the books that I purchased in the second half of 2018 that I have not yet read yet. So all the books that are part of my Book Haul Revisited series for July to December, those books have to get read. That is my main goal, but I'm also trying to be a little bit more conscious about reading the books that come in every month. So hopefully this will be useful and hopefully I will get through the majority of those things. So that is the mid-year book freakout tag. I feel good. This has been a good first half of the year. In the comments below, let me know your answers to any of these questions. Most importantly, probably what is the best book you have read so far this year? I hope that wherever you are in the world, you're having a wonderful day and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.